Imagine having a tiny device at home that gives you a shot every 10 minutes at a Bitcoin jackpot worth over $300,000. That's what home solo mining can feel like, a perpetual little lottery ticket that runs quietly in the background. In today's tutorial, we're diving into the Avalon Nano 3S, your ticket to joining the mining game from your living room. No need to be a technical wizard. We'll break it down and show you how this little box gives you the daily chances to net serious cash with a few other added benefits. I'm Ben with the BTC Sessions. This is your daily session. So you're looking to get into Bitcoin mining from home and you're curious what that involves. Well, today we're going to inform you about how to do that. Let's talk a little bit about who this is for, what to expect, and what your odds are of actually mining some Bitcoin and making a profit, as well as maybe some prerequisite knowledge that can be helpful in your journey. We're going to break it all down right now. So first thing, I want you to think of Bitcoin mining as a lottery. A whole bunch of people all at once are effectively trying to guess a number, and the winner of this lottery is rewarded with newly created Bitcoin. This is what you are doing when you run a mining device in your home. Now, Bitcoin mining is very competitive, and there's two ways to go about it. One is called pooled mining. If you're mining with a pool, you can think of it just like a lottery pool, where a whole bunch of people buy lottery tickets at once, all together in a group. And if any of those people win the lottery, they split the prize based on how many tickets each person paid for. Bitcoin mining is very much the same when you're using pooled mining, except for instead of based on how many tickets you've bought, it would be based on the computing power, the power of the mining computer that you are using to contribute to the network. Now, the other way to go about this is to solo mine. Basically, you are all by yourself. You're buying your ticket with the device that you have, and you get a crack at this lottery every 10 minutes, just like you would with pooled mining, except for you wouldn't have to split the reward if you yourself win. In a pool, you are more likely to win and get regular payouts, but those payouts can be quite small in a pool. With a solo setup where you are just mining by yourself with your device or devices, you are much less likely to win. But if you do, it can be a very nice payout. At the time of recording this video, it would be for 3.125 Bitcoin, which is over $300,000. So let's chat a little bit about the device that we are checking out today. It is the Avalon Nano 3S. Now, this device retails for around $300, and we'll take a look at the stats later on and compare it to some other devices. But we're going to be opening up the box and getting it all plugged in and figuring out how to use it. Now, in terms of prerequisite knowledge, what else are you going to need outside of just having the device? And it's not too much. We'll walk you through everything here, but you're going to need a Bitcoin wallet. And today we'll just use the example of a mobile wallet. It is called Aqua. I've done a full video on it. I won't go through the full setup in this video for Aqua Wallet, but it's very simple. You can download it and get started right away. And if you want additional details, I will link to my full tutorial video on this in the show notes down below. Either way, you should get the gist of it when you take a look during our setup. Outside of that, we're going to be using a solo mining pool called Public Pool. And it's just a website, web.public-pool.io. And when you go there, this will allow us to connect our miner here so that if we do win a Bitcoin block, it goes to our own Bitcoin wallet. We will highlight a couple other options for solo mining, solo CKPool and Braiins solo pool, all different options to achieve the same means. And if you're a keener, we'll even show how you can actually run your own mining pool on your own Bitcoin node, or at least kind of show you that it's possible. Outside of that, That's pretty much all you need to know. We're going to be taking a look at the device now and breaking down what's in the box. All right, here we are with the Canon Avalon Nano 3S. And we're going to take a look what's in the box. So I've already taken off the shrink wrap here, but let's just open it up, take a look inside. I did get the white version. And so up top, we've got, of course, the logo. We've got a little circular screen here with some film on it that we can remove. So I'll just remove that sticker right now. And let's pull the device out of the box and take a quick look at it. So we've got an exhaust on the front as well as on the back. The front exhaust, it looks like it does come off. It is magnetic and it goes back into place. Nothing on the one side, but on the other side, we have a USB-A port. And then on the back, we also, alongside the grill here, we have a USB-C, which I imagine is for the power. And that's pretty much it. Pretty simple layout to the device, not too much to worry about here. Now let's take a look what else is in the box here. So we've got documents and we also have a Wi-Fi module. Let's take a look at what that is. Let's kind of dump everything out here. Here's the Wi-Fi module. This just gives it Wi-Fi. It's just a little USB dongle, pretty simple. And I'll just do it right now, but it just literally goes into the USB-A port here. Boom. There you go. That's what you do with that. This also has, if I'm not mistaken, some manuals, some information inside. Let's give it a pull here. This tells you about different mining pools that you can check out. So some additional information there if you want to use those ones. And then get this out of here. Here's our manual. You can flick through it. Has lots of info in there. That looks good. And what else is in the box here? Imagine mostly power supply stuff. So let's take a look. AC adapter at the bottom, of course. Pull that out. We do have a separate manual for the power supply. I think it's pretty self-explanatory here, but you've got your power surge block there, and then a receptacle to add on the power cable, which I'll take a look at now. Yep, pretty much just this plugs in like so, either way. This obviously goes into the wall, and this, the USB-C, just goes into the back of the miner like so. There we go. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we can pretty much plug this in anywhere, and the way that we communicate with it and get it set up on our Wi-Fi is through the app. And if I'm not mistaken, within the app, it does give you a QR code just on the first page here to be able to download their app so you don't get redirected somewhere incorrect. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to plug this in to the wall, find a nice spot for it, and then we'll take a look at what the device looks like as well as what the app looks like, and we'll start tinkering and getting it set up. All right, just quickly wanted to show that I've plugged in my miner. It's joined my family of solo miners here. All of them are currently off just in the interest of noise and heat. But here on the top, as soon as I plugged it in, it says, please configure the network with the Avalon family app. So we're gonna go ahead, download that, and check out how to get this thing set up. All right, so with my device plugged in, I've also now downloaded the Avalon family app, and it gives me some options. I can put in my email and get a verification code. I can log in with Google. It does give me the option to skip, and I'm gonna see if I can just still use the device without having to have an email or a Google account linked here. So let's give that a go. Oh, it does. Okay, perfect. So skip. And so I'm now in the main part of the app, It does give me an option to log in. Again, I'm not sure if I see the need to have an account yet, but we'll investigate that as we go. But it allows us, I guess if you had multiple devices and you wanted to redetect them all, and you didn't want to have to manually add them, if you were to get a new phone or something, that would be the draw here. But for my instance today, I'm not going to sign up with an email or anything. So we have options to place devices in rooms if we want. So this is an office that I'm in, and the device is on the shelf behind me. So I guess that looks like it should be office. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to hit add device. And it says, please approach your device. I'm, a few feet from it. So it hopefully should see it. So I'm going to hit search now. It says turn on location services for nearby Bluetooth devices. I'll hit OK. I'll say while using the app. Okay, please agree, allow. Okay, so right away it sees the device and knows it's there. So I can tap on that device. Please confirm that the machine is about to be connected. And yeah, I mean, there's no other Avalon miners anywhere near me. So I'm going to go ahead and hit connect. Perfect. And now it says I need to set up my Wi-Fi and the Wi-Fi password. If I do a drop down, it will show me any available networks. So I can go ahead and search for mine and add it. And then type in the password. Once I've got that info, I'll hit save. And please ensure your phone and device are connected to the same Wi-Fi. And I'll hit OK. All right, so I don't see anything when I jump back here and I'm clicked on the office, but maybe if I go to rooms in general, yeah, there it is. So we can see the Avalon Nano 3S right there. So I guess it didn't add it to the room I was clicked on. That may be a setting I have to do afterwards, but let's tap on the device right now. Okay, so it shows us that we're connected to Wi-Fi. It says it's in the living room. So yeah, there's the edit button. So I can edit that. Let's put it in the office. Perfect. And we have a few things. We also have our terahash per second. That's a measure of how much computing power your device is outputting when contributing to mining on the Bitcoin network. And down below we have work mode, light control, and settings. And so work mode has to do with how hard your device is working. You can kind of set it at different levels for different amounts of power usage and noise and heat. You can change the LED lights on it. And then the settings, this would pertain to actually connecting to our mining pool and making sure that any payouts we get actually go to us. I think that's super important to tackle first. So we're going to dive into settings and link this to a mining pool. Bitcoin Well is the best place to be buying and selling Bitcoin in Canada and the US. And now with Bitcoin Well Infinite, it's also the best place to be making large buys at their OTC desk of over $50,000. Their white glove service gives you fast transactions, no slippage, and the lowest fees. You can scan the QR code on the screen or simply head to bitcoinwell.com/BTC sessions to sign up today. And you can share your own personalized referral link to earn commissions. CoinKite has been in the game for years, creating hands down the best and most secure hardware when it comes to securing your Bitcoin. The Cold Card Q is an absolute powerhouse and my daily driver, and it's ideal for newcomers and advanced users alike. The Tap Signer gives you a low-cost, user-friendly option for those just getting started or for convenience when traveling. You can head to coinkite.com and use code BTC Sessions for discounts, or simply scan the QR code on the screen to get started right away. Debify is the best and easiest way to borrow against your Bitcoin in a non-custodial way. Funds are held in a multi-sig escrow where you hold a key, and the platform allows for excellent hardware like the Cold Card Mark IV and the Q. You have access to flexible conditions, the best rates, and institutional grade liquidity. If you're looking to make use of your capital, don't sell your Bitcoin, borrow against it. You can head over to debify.com to check them out, or simply scan the QR code on the screen. So as I said before, we are going to set this up in the simplest possible way, solo mining to our own Bitcoin wallet, so that if our device does successfully mine a Bitcoin block, we get the full reward into our own wallet that we have on our phone. So Aqua wallet is the one I'm going to be using. And so this is web.public-pool.io, and it allows you to just have an easily set of credentials that you use to link any device you have and allow it to pay you out without having to host any additional software or hardware yourself. And so what we're going to need right now is, let's take a look at the app. We're going to go into settings, and you can see the second option here is pool config. So I'm going to tap on that. And it allows me to configure multiple mining pools. So 1, 2, 3. And this would be if one of the mining pools fails for some reason or isn't working, it will default to the next one and then the next one. So what we need here is we need a pool address. We need a worker name, which will actually be our Bitcoin address. And then we need a password for our miner. And that can really be anything that you please. So first, pool address. What is this? How do we paste this in? Well, let's go over. We need this information right here, this top line. That's it. We just need to copy that. And then we need to jump back. And it needs to go right here. And so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to paste that in. And I'll just double check the info is the same. It is. Okay. Perfect. So we have our first little bit of information. Now we need a Bitcoin address that will go right here. Okay. So we're actually going to go and open up my Aqua wallet right here. And I'm going to tap on Bitcoin, and I'm going to hit receive down at the bottom. And I need this string of digits. It starts with BC1, and I can just tap and copy that information. I can jump back and I can paste that info right there. That's all I need there. And then finally, I just need to set a password. It can be a pretty simple one if you want. I'm just going to, for simplicity's sake, do 1, 2, 3, 4. You might want something a bit better than that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And now I can hit save. The device will automatically restart after saving. Are you sure you want to continue? I'll hit OK. And please enter device password. By the way, your default device password is admin. It will ask you if you want to change it when you set it up. I've left it, but good idea to change it late when you set it up. Now, it would seem that it requires me actually to have a second mining pool. So I suppose let's go ahead and do that as well. So I'll jump over and let's use Braiins solo. So solo.braiins with 2 i's.com. And what we can do is we can copy one of the following addresses right here and jump back, and so we'll now paste that info in. So we'll grab the same Bitcoin address, jump back to the app, and we'll paste that in. And we'll just put in, again, a simple password. Let's see if we have any luck saving that, or if it's going to make us do number 3 as well. Nope, we need 3. That seems, I'm going to be honest, that seems kind of silly to me. Like, do you really need to have 3 possible mining pools? Okay, whatever. So what I'm going to do for the last one, again, we'll just do an easy publicly available one. We'll use solo CKPool, and we'll grab this right here. We'll copy it. We'll jump back, do number 3, and we'll paste it. Now, it does tell us that it needs to start with basically what the other two started with, the stratum plus TCP, that whole thing. So I'm just going to grab that from one of the other ones. We'll copy that over. A bit of a pain, if I'm honest. Okay, so it liked that. Great. All right, let's grab that Bitcoin address again. Copy, and we'll go over, we'll paste. By the way, all of these mining pools I'll include in the show notes down below, so you don't have to mess around as much as I have been. There we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we've got 3 different mining pools here. Hopefully it likes that. I'll hit save. Okay, type in the default admin password because I haven't changed it, and hit OK. There we go. That seemed to have worked. And so the device is now restarting on my shelf. The light went from blue to white, and so it should be booted back up momentarily. Okay, so our device is now back up and running. Now, I do keep on noticing this, so this is kind of bothering me and kind of annoying. But it keeps on saying disconnected in the app over and over again and then coming back on. I don't know why that is, but I will say that the device itself seems to be working just fine. And so I'm looking at it, and it gives me the stats on what's happening on the device. I'll show that in a moment. But yeah, you can see it keeps on saying disconnected. I don't know. I'm going to restart the app and see if that fixes the problem. But either way, the actual device seems to be okay. So I did go ahead and log in with a Google account just to see if that would fix the off and on problem. You never know. It doesn't seem to have. So this might kind of conk in and out, which again is kind of annoying. There it goes again. But we'll still be able to accomplish what we want to accomplish here. And yeah, I'll have to check on why that is happening. Either way, we can see that we're sitting at around 6.5 terahash per second, which is pretty solid. And if we want to look up info on a mining pool about what we're doing, we can simply grab we can simply go into settings and the pool config, and we can just grab the Bitcoin address that we previously used. And once we copy it, we can go over to web.public-pool.io. As this is our first selected mining pool, that is the one that we're mining with. Unless this one goes down, then we would go to the other ones that we were using, the solo pool or Braiins. But all we need to do is we just need to paste in our Bitcoin address and then search up my workers. Now, this device has been running for 12 minutes. And so what it does here on the pool is it does like an average of the data that it has. So it's estimating that our hashing power is much higher than it actually is. The one on our device that we're seeing is going to be much more accurate, the 6.5 terahash up here. But it is a way that you can kind of look at your progress over time just on the mining pool without having to go to the app. But now that we're up and running, let's just take a look at some of the other settings. So let's go into work mode. Work mode, assuming that we're connected. Wow, that's annoying. Assuming we're connected, you can choose low, medium, and high. And what this denotes is, what kind of heat is this thing going to be putting off? But with that change, will also bring a lower terahash per second, aka less chances to be able to win. Okay, you're not mining with as much computing power, and thus this number will drop, and thus your chances to win a block will drop. But that's all going to be personal preference. So for now, I'll leave it on high, and we'll go back out. Let's take a look at light control. So on here, we have the option to change the LED light on the front of the device. Again, you can turn it on. You can have it so that it's only available at night. You can have it stay, you can have it flash, you can kind of have it ebb and flow up and down. It can loop through different colors. The brightness you can set. You can also choose the color, temperature, warm, cool, or we can go to a palette and choose what color that we want. So all kinds of stuff there. I'm going to leave this be, but just so you know, it is there. And then if we go into settings, there's more stuff here. Again, the default password for your device is admin, but you can click in here and change it to whatever you like. The pool config we've already seen and set. The filter is just kind of like a warning, like, hey, is your filter getting kind of mucked up with dust and stuff like that. Our warranty, we can see how long it goes to. If the time is not syncing on your device, it will have the time. You can click to sync the time. And then, of course, there's support down below. Maybe I'll be clicking that to figure out why this thing keeps disconnecting. Either way, we'll go back here. And that is pretty much that. Let's also go down to the bottom right where this little person icon here. This allows us to take a look at our account. What about temperature? You can set it to Celsius or Fahrenheit, as in what temperature is the device. Your pool cards, this allows you to, if you want to add that pool card that we could scan at the beginning, that we pulled out of the box, it allows you to connect to a mining pool. That is just a simplified version of the way that we connected to a mining pool. And so it gives you an easy option. Change languages, change the rooms in your home, and then general support and what version you're currently on. And you can log out of your account if you please. So that's pretty much that. I want to quickly jump off of here and I want to show you what the device is showing me on that top circular screen, because it's actually kind of cool. So let's take a peek. Okay, really quick. So we have our LED bar in front, and again, that's where we can make any changes we want. I like it how it is. This thing is actually very quiet for the amount of hashing power that it's putting off, and we're on high right now. It is not making a lot of noise, which I'm pretty impressed with. Now, up top, we do have the Avalon Nano just logo, but there's a little button here, and when I press it, it shows me a whole bunch of different stuff. So it shows me the local time, it shows me my terahash. Down below, it shows me the IP address of the device on my local network. It also shows me the date, the day of the week, and it shows me how many watts my machine is using. If I tap again, then it shows me just a basic clock, and I tap again, it takes me back to the Avalon Nano logo. I like the stats. I think that looks really, really cool. So I'm gonna leave it like that. Let's jump back. So now we've seen how to set up your device and have it solo mining, meaning that if you are lucky enough to hit a block, mine a Bitcoin block, you will get the full reward yourself. That is it. There's no additional settings. You plunk in the info and you're good to go. Now, if you want to change that and maybe you want to do pooled mining, meaning that you get small payouts a lot more regularly, you can do that. Now, the profitability of that is going to more or less on power in your city not be very sizable. You're going to be getting, if a few cents at a time, if that. It's not going to be much at all. But you can do it if you want to see it conceptually. So we're going to cover how to do that next. All right, so let's investigate how to mine in a pool and get regular payouts as small as they may be. And so I'm over here on a website called pool.braiins with 2i's.com. And I do have an account there. You'd sign up with just an email address and a password. And once you're in here, you're going to be on your mining dashboard. And so what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to create a financial account that will be able to receive payments. And then you're also going to want to connect a worker, aka your Avalon miner that you have on your desk. So let's cover linking a wallet first. Now, you're going to need something called a Lightning address. On Bitcoin, you can send regular Bitcoin payments or you can send Lightning payments, and Lightning payments are faster and cheaper to send. And so I just want to highlight a couple options that you may have. One would be Wallet of Satoshi. So walletofsatoshi.com will show you where you can download this, but it gives you something when you hit receive that looks like an email address, and it would be something at walletofsatoshi.com. And you can just copy and paste that info. Or maybe something like Primal. So you can head to primal.net. This is actually a form of censorship resistant social media, but it does have a built-in Bitcoin wallet. And then finally, if you're in the US, another good option that's actually also an online exchange is Strike. So you can head over to strike.me. And if you have an account on Strike, you download the app, you'll have, again, a customizable Lightning address that looks like an email address. It would be whatever it is at strike.me. And so I'm going to go ahead and just as an example, I'll use my Strike address, which is btcsessions@strike.me. And we're going to keep that in mind over here on the Braiins website. So first off, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go to Funds, and it shows an overview of my financial accounts. Now, I've played around with this account before, but if you're new, you will have nothing here, and you'll choose Add a New Account. And so I'll call this one Strike. I'll hit Add New Account, and then we're going to go ahead and set it up, the little hypertext here. And so we're going to choose a Lightning payout. And what's our address? BTC sessions at strike.me. I already have it memorized. Threshold value. How much do you want to get paid out? Like, do you want it to build up before it pays you out? With Lightning, you don't really need to let it build up. It can pay you as little as 1 sat, which there's 100 million sats in a Bitcoin. It's less than a penny. So I understand if I have the wrong Lightning address, it will result in a loss of rewards. I'll confirm the changes. Okay, so I'll authenticate that, and it will send me an email confirmation for any changes that I make. So I'll just do that off screen right now. Okay, just by clicking on the link that I was provided, then it jumps me back to Braiins Pool. Okay, so it's basically, it has added this account, this Strike account, to my Braiins Pool. Now I'm going to go back to the mining tab here, and I'm going to go down to Settings, and we're going to choose my reward split. Now, if you only have one financial account, it should default to that one, but if you have multiple, you would just choose it. So I'll choose Strike and make 100% of rewards go there. I'll hit save and I'll authenticate it, and that's it. Okay, so I've linked a Bitcoin Lightning address to Braiins Pool. Now, if I go to dashboard, right now, not much going on. Now, I have played with this before, so you'll see previously connected miners that are still listed here. But I'm going to actually go over to the left and click on workers. I want to add a worker. And over on the right, there's a blue button that says connect workers. And this gives me all my info that I need to put into the Avalon app. And so what I need is to paste this stratum.tcp, same kind of stuff that we pasted in before. And then what we need is a user ID and a worker name. So user ID is your username for Braiins, and then worker name could be anything. You could say Nano3S, for instance. So BTC sessions.nano3S. That would work just fine. And that's what's going to go in the Avalon Miner app. And so we're going to jump over it. We're going to put in that information now. All right. So I already have everything input for the pool config on my number 1 pool. I haven't changed the number 2 and 3, but I want Braiins to be my primary pool. And I've put in the username btcsessions.nano3s. We pasted in the stuff from the website and my password 1234. And I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to hit save. Oh, and it does ask me to, I don't know why it gets rid of this info. Bit of a pain, I'm going to be honest. Password 2 and 3. I'll just keep them all the same. Anyways, we'll save that. Yes, I'm sure. Device password. Okay. Succeeded. The device should reboot now, which I see it doing. And once it boots back up, we should be mining through Braiins Pool. And whenever we hit a block with Braiins Pool, we should get a payout directly to our Strike Bitcoin wallet. And again, I've not covered how to use Strike or Wallet of Satoshi or Primal, but it would just be with Strike, downloading the app, signing up. It is an online exchange, so that one's a little bit different, whereas Wallet of Satoshi is just download and copy your info and paste it over. But when you hit receive, it basically it looks like an email address, and I'll show that momentarily in the Strike app. Okay, so our device has rebooted. It's back up to full hash rate. It's been a few minutes now, and I also want to show over on Braiins Pool how that has updated. It shows us here mining, and we are starting to see stats from our device come in, and it shows that, yeah, we have hash rate. And anytime that, not us as a solo miner, but the collective number of people mining with Braiins Pool, if any of them hit a block, then we will get a portion of that reward based on the amount of hash rate that we are contributing to that mining process. As I said, payouts would be small. I believe they happen every 24 hours, assuming there's a balance to pay out, and that would go directly into your wallet. Now, again, let's just take a look at what that looks like in Strike here. So again, with Strike, this is it's a custodial exchange. They hold money for you. You can buy Bitcoin, sell Bitcoin, all that kind of stuff, but it also can act as a wallet. And if you go up to the top right where your profile is and you click on it, then it shows your Lightning address. Mine is btcsessions@strike.me. It will allow you to customize that as you see fit, but that's what we put into Braiins Pool. If I was using something a little different, perhaps like Wallet of Satoshi, same kind of thing. When I hit receive, it shows my BTC sessions at Wallet of Satoshi that I've customized, but it'll just give you a default one to start with. And then also over on Primal, it's the same kind of thing. There's a baked in Lightning wallet, and I have a Lightning address that I've customized at primal.net. Any of these would have acted the same over here on Braiins, and the small payouts that we would get on the daily would go directly to whichever wallet we have put in. So there you have it. If you decide to, even though it won't really give you much bang for your buck, you can set up a Lightning wallet to receive Bitcoin payouts every single day, so that you can at least conceptually see how Bitcoin pooled mining goes. If it's me, I would probably defer to solo mining. I think that's kind of the main draw of a machine like this. Looking for a simple and secure way to manage your Bitcoin on mobile? Aqua Wallet has you covered. It's user-friendly and puts you in full control of your Bitcoin with secure self-custody. Aqua also supports Lightning and Liquid Network, making fast, cheap Bitcoin payments and asset transfers easier than ever. Plus, it even supports stablecoins, giving you ultimate flexibility. Built on open source code, Aqua is transparent, trustworthy, and perfect for beginner and pros alike. Ready to upgrade your Bitcoin experience? Click the link in the show notes or scan the QR code on the screen now to download Aqua Wallet today.
If you've been around Bitcoin for more than a minute, you've definitely seen something made by Crypto Cloaks. Since 2017, they've been the go-to for badass 3D printed Bitcoin gear, from custom home mining rigs to sleek hardware wallet mounts that make your setup look pro. I've been stacking Cloaks gear for years, and most recently I grabbed their Gamma case for my miner. Let me tell you, it turns some heads. You can customize everything, and of course, the legendary Bitcoin grenade, yeah, that's them. Hit the link in the show notes or scan the QR code to visit CryptoCloaks.com and stack your own custom cloaks gear today.
Securing your Bitcoin doesn't have to be complicated or invasive. With Nunchuck's Honey Badger plan, you get state-of-the-art multi-sig with built-in inheritance planning and no KYC required. Nunchuck is trusted by users to secure billions of dollars in Bitcoin. The Honey Badger plan offers 204 assisted multisig, guiding you step-by-step on mobile or desktop. It works seamlessly with hardware wallets like TapSigner, Coldcard, Jade, and plenty of others, so you're always in control. Plus, with non-KYC inheritance planning, you can ensure your Bitcoin goes to your loved ones. No private info needed. Take control of your Bitcoin today. Click the link in the show notes or scan the QR code on the screen to check out the Honey Badger plan. Now, there are a host of other ways in which you can solo mine or you can pool mine with your device. I just wanted to outline one more, which I've alluded to earlier in the video, but that is self-hosting your own solo pool. And so this may be a little bit deeper than some of the people watching this video may care to pursue, but for those of you that are keeners, I just wanted to make you aware that if you are running what's known as a Start9, this is a Bitcoin node that you have on your own shelf. It has a full copy of the Bitcoin blockchain, and you're able to download other tangential apps that are used in and around Bitcoin. You can actually download and host your own copy of Public Pool, which is the main solo mining pool that we connected to start. And so the main difference when you're hosting your own copy of Public Pool, which as a reminder looks like this, is rather than effectively relying on them to connect everything properly and have the funds directed to your wallet, you actually host this software yourself. So while this looks like the website that we visited, it's not. This is actually hosted on my own home device, my Start9 right here. It's a device just over my shoulder on my shelf. And this software is running on that device. And so the link here, let's just cross compare. On Public Pool on the main website, it says, okay, publicpool.io is kind of the main website plus all the stuff around it. But that's what we'd be pasting in on our miner. Whereas on the version where I'm hosting it on my own device, it is the middle of it. We actually have to put in the IP address, the local IP address of our device, which you would get when you set up, but I can see mine up here. So we would have that information. Our miner is looking at our own device on our own shelf with our own copy of the Bitcoin blockchain, which is putting together all the Bitcoin transactions and everything. And if we successfully mine a block, well, that device is the one that puts that block of transactions together. And it's a more self-sovereign way of solo mining. So if you're curious about Start9 and maybe you want to run your own Bitcoin node, I will link to a video that I did on how to set that up. It includes building the device itself, but if you just buy it, plug and play, then you can skip over the build part and just get into how to set it up. And then you would go and you would download Public Pool once you've got a couple other things up and running. So this is kind of my short explainer of how to do that. But with that, let's dive into some more important things, namely, what are your chances of mining a Bitcoin block with your device? And how does this stack up against some other Bitcoin miners that I have played with myself? So what are your chances of getting that, at the time of this recording, around $300,000 reward with your Bitcoin miner? Well, we can calculate that. This is a website called solochance.org. And all you need to do is type in the hash rate of your device or devices if you have multiple. So we were running once again, the Avalon Nano 3S. And if I look at the details here, this device is in and around 6 terahash. Although we saw it above that, it was running at around 6.5 terahash per second. And so if I go to solochance.org, all I need to do is type in that value here, our terahash per second. And there's drop downs for, what currency are you mining? Of course, this is a Bitcoin channel, so it's going to be Bitcoin. But again, if you've got, a lower powered miner or a higher power miner or a whole bunch of devices, you may be using different measurements, but most of the devices right now, you're going to be measuring in terahash per second. And so let's put in 6 because that is what is stated on the website, but it may be higher. You can always put in 6.5 if you want. I'm going to hit calculate. And so it tells me my hash rate, 6 terahash per second. The total network hash rate, 945 exahash. That's a lot. Block interval is every 10 minutes. Chances per block. So every 10 minutes, I have a 1 in 157 500,000 chance of winning 3.125 Bitcoin. Okay, that, very, very slim. Now, every hour, 1 in 26,250,000. Still far cry. Per day, every single day, I have a 1 in 1,093,000 chance. Every week, starting to look better. Every single week, I have a 1 in 156,000 chance. Every month, I have a 1 in 36,000 chance. And every year, I have a 1 in 3,000 chance of winning over 3 Bitcoin. I mean, that's pretty good for a one-time purchase. For a $300 device to sit on your shelf, I'm okay with those chances. That's pretty good. And again, some people, they might have a couple of these, and there's a dual purpose to this. One, you got your lottery miner. 2, you are learning a little bit about Bitcoin. I would hope that people are kind of curious. How does this work? How is mining working? And just kind of learning a bit about this incredible new technology. But then also the device itself, it does spit out some heat. And if you have a purpose for that heat, that is another added benefit. I'm in Canada and we get some cold winters, and oftentimes I will run a space heater in my office. Well, I don't have to do that anymore because this device can double as a space heater. And so that's very, very helpful. And so some people may even have a couple of these devices kicking around in different small rooms. For my office, this works just fine for me. But again, if you had a couple of these devices, let's double this number to 12 terahash per second. All of a sudden, your chances are getting better. Chances per day, 1 in 546,000 of winning 3.125 Bitcoin. Per week, 1 in 78,000. Per month, 1 in 18,000. Per year, 1 in 1,500. Those odds are really, really not bad. And, this device, it doesn't take a whole lot of power. You're not going to really notice that much on your bill, your electricity bill. No major changes there. But, this is in my opinion, a pretty compelling use case of having a dual space heater, but also having a chance to win a ton of money should I luck out. And so there you go, solochance.org. You can calculate exactly what you got. I have a bunch of solo miners here. I'm kind of curious with all the terahash, if I had it running at top notch, what would that look like? Let me just calculate it. Wow, not bad. Okay, so I've got a number of devices here in my office. And if I were to run them just like round the clock and allow them at full bore, when it gets down to, let's say, the per day, 1 in 285,000 chance each day of mining a block. Per week, 1 in 40,000. Per month, 1 in 9,500. And per year, a 1 in 793 chance of mining 3.125 Bitcoin. That's really not bad. Which is, that's kind of cool actually when it gets broken down like that. So now would I be running these at full bore all the time? No. In the summer, you know, especially I've got a bunch of them in my office, it would be an absolute sweat box in here if I were doing so. But maybe if you got a cold basement or something like that, or you've got a place to put them, yeah, you could absolutely do that. So really, really cool. All right, let's break this down. How does the Avalon Nano 3S stack up just in terms of kind of cost per terahash when it comes to other options on the market? So just as a reminder, at the time of recording this video, around $300 for one of these guys. And once again, they run at about 6 terahash per second. Okay. I'm not going to get into necessarily like their power draw and everything. Most of these are going to be pretty negligible when it comes to any electricity costs. Okay. Now, yeah, so $300, 6 terahash, not bad. Now the device itself, you know, Wi-Fi enabled, and it has a dedicated app. I'll touch on the details about that in a little bit, my thoughts around it. Okay, let's move over to the BitAxe Gamma. So this is a small kind of credit card sized board there with a little fan on it, plugs in. You control it via any web app, web browser, just on your local Wi-Fi network. I've got a couple of these kicking over on my shelf as well. Only $105 for one of these, but only 1.2 terahash. So when you break it down, with the Avalon being $300 at 6 and this being 105 at 1.2, you know, you're looking at, for the same price, 3.6 terahash with the Gamma versus almost double that with the Avalon. So pretty good when it comes to the terahash. Let's move on. Okay, the Braiins Mini Miner. Now this thing is made out of like actual metal, so the build itself is pretty high quality. When it comes to the front-facing screen, it's very nice. There's a bunch of different settings there, but let's take a look. $300, and it's only 1 terahash. So you're getting 6 times the bang for your buck when it comes to actually chances of winning a block with the Avalon. So once again, you know, the device is kind of kicking ass and taking names in that department. Now, this device, again, you can manage it from a browser, and you can hook it up to whatever you want. Solo mine, pool mine, anything. That's fine. And the dashboard is actually pretty decent on the browser. Okay. Moving on, the Nerd QX++, 4.5 terahash, around $400. I mean, that's kind of easy to put together. It's more expensive than the Avalon and less terahash. However, it does come with like a badass 3D print custom, and it's, you know, it's pretty efficient as well. I quite like this device. A little bit more expensive. I like the dashboard of it. I kind of like just the ethos with the whole BitAxe project. So while not as efficient, I still am a fan of this device here. Okay, another one from Canon. This is the Canon Mini 3. And this is a bit more serious and a bit more expensive. So around $1,200. 37.5 terahash. And this thing is meant as a large room space heater. Okay, so heat is actually kind of the intended use case with a pretty decent chance. And wow, 37.5 terahash. Let me just take a look. If you were solo mining with that, what are your chances? Oh, that one device alone, a 1 in 486 chance every year of mining a block worth $300,000 plus. So, I mean, not bad. It is obviously more expensive, but if you have use for a large room space heater, and perhaps that's going to cut down on your power bill in general because you're no longer using your regular heating, that could be compelling. I think Canon is doing pretty good in the realm of efficiency. And obviously this would be run from the same app. You would connect it and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, let's get into a couple options. So I grabbed the Avalon miner from CryptoCloaks, and a bunch of my other stuff I've grabbed from them. But one of the devices that I have played with that is not on their website would be the FutureBit, and I do have this device, and I do quite like it as well. There are two versions. The Apollo 2, the standard version, this thing goes up to 10 terahash. Now, 10 terahash is going to be like the turbo mode, and it does get loud and it does get warm. Okay, so the noise is to be considered here. Now, this device goes for $700, so it is more expensive. It is a solid steel case. It's it's very well done. It looks beautiful. I quite like it. But yes, higher price tag. Now, there is a second version that is more expensive, and let me explain why. This is the full node version. It is sold out right now, and I would say if they were in stock, I would go for the one with the larger SSD or hard drive, because it runs a full Bitcoin node as well. So a full copy of the Bitcoin blockchain, your own mining pool on board the device automatically, and it mines again up to 10 terahash per second. So 1150 for this thing. It is expensive, but it's also very, very nice. The dashboard for it on your browser is beautiful. And the other cool thing is if you've got a bunch of other devices, you can actually run your own mining pool on this thing and then point all of your devices towards it, and it will show you your total hash rate on your dashboard of all of your devices together. Plus, it will calculate your daily chances of mining a block and show you that on the dashboard. So that's also pretty compelling and really cool. Something that you can only do with the full node version. Either way, super cool. Price wise, again, 10 terahash for 1150. Let's compare that to 37 and a half. Oh my God, 37 and a half terahash for $1,200 for an extra $50. So again, Canaan is knocking it out of the park when it comes to efficiency, how much terahash you're getting for how many dollars you're spending. But some of these other ones have some benefits as well. So just in general, what I'll say, what is the trade-off with the Canaan one? So the build of the device, it is plastic, but I really like the screen on top. It was really nice. The connectivity of the app was finicky for me. Let me know if you've had that experience, or maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my phone. Who knows? It could be just finicky. It could be my Wi-Fi on my phone. So I don't want to necessarily say for sure this is going to happen to you. But either way, I was able to manage it just fine in the app, and it seemed to be doing it a little bit less later on. The one thing that I will say is I do wish there was a way that I could access the Avalon miner from my desktop. I would love to be able to do that just from a browser window, because pretty much every other device I have here, I can put in the IP address of the device and I can see the dashboard on a phone just from a browser, but also on my laptop from a browser window if I'm on the same Wi-Fi. And it gives me everything and I can lay it out there. It's a bit of a pain going from computer to phone and copying and pasting. And I like accessibility on my actual computer here as well. It's like my workstation. So I would love to see that. Apart from that, pretty positive experience. A couple finicky things that I think just in the app can be fixed over time. Like, it would be nice if the password that I put in for those mining pools just was retained. It would be really nice if I didn't have to go to 3 separate mining pools and input all of that information. I feel like, if the mining pool goes down, maybe just shoot me a notification and then I can swap it in if I really want to and put in a backup if I want to. I feel like having 2 additional backup mining pools for an initial setup, But besides that, I think everything else was pretty smooth. The other thing we didn't try was the mining pool card. That from the app, you can actually just scan the QR code on that, and it'll set everything up for you. Probably the simplest route, but you know, I wanted to show you guys something a little bit deeper here. So with that, I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think of the Avalon Nano 3S, your experiences based on this video, and also your experiences with some of the other options on the market? Let me know. I'll be checking down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please do like, subscribe, share, all those things. They help a ton. Now, if you need some additional help in your Bitcoin learning journey, please head over to btcsessions.ca/learn. We've got a 0 to hero Bitcoiner in one page. It gives you beginner, intermediate, and master options and full video tutorials on a number of skills that are going to be helpful to you as you master Bitcoin. And further, you can dive deeper with full playlists on all of the topics above as well if you want to try different devices and apps. And finally, if you really want to level up fast with a premium experience, head over to Bitcoin Mentor down at the bottom of the page, and you'll be able to book one-on-one educational sessions with my team of educators to make sure that your Bitcoin setup is rock solid. With that, I am out. Have yourselves a wonderful day or evening. Keep stacking sats, but keep stacking those skills. I'm Ben with the BTC Sessions. This was your daily session.